When I started writing code for the Pico, setup of the toolchain for anything other than a Raspberry Pi was very hard. Nikhil Debas fixed all that with the Windows installer. Let's chat to him and find out how all that came about and what the future holds for the Windows installer. Hi, I'm John, your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, Pico 2, Robotics, IoT and other fun tech. Remember to subscribe and join the community. This is my 3-minute summary for my conversation with Nikhil. If you have time, why not check out the full video? Nikhil, thank you very much for joining me on the show today. Can you give us a little bit of an intro to you?
Sure. Thank you very much for having me over, John. And so, yeah, the quick intro is that I've been passionate about microcontrollers and tinkering in general. And and the thing that I'm kind of a bit known for is that I developed the Windows installer, which was for about a year. It was the official Windows installer for the Pico SDK.
What attracted you to the Raspberry Pi Pico?
So I've always used Raspberry Pis. Like I always have like at least half a dozen or so Raspberry Pis around my home doing various things. It was kind of like a very interesting announcement when they came out with the Pico. Not only because they came out with a microcontroller with silicon that they designed on their own, but of course, I mean, there's ARM IP in there, but essentially, yeah, the chip is basically their own production at the end of it. And yeah, and not only that, but it was also interesting from the viewpoint that it was kind of like a properly developed board and a nice chip and everything, and it was super low cost.
Returning to the Pico and your work with that window installer, how did that come apart? Was that something that someone suggested to you, or was that something you decided to do for the community?
I think what happened is that when the microcontroller came out, when the Pico boards and the microcontrollers when they came out, they didn't really have any Windows support as such. I mean, the documentation basically just said, "Hey, you can put together your own toolchain by downloading this and downloading that, and when installing this, you have to use this flag, and when installing that, you have to use that flag." And I use this thing called NSIS, which of course I mean has its roots in Winamp, like Nullsoft. And NSIS is Nullsoft install system, which is of course the original company that created Winamp, and then they open sourced the installer part of it, and it's really old. It's the code base is like 25 plus years old or something at this point, but it's really good for stringing together a bunch of installers like this. So yeah, so I just kind of put it together. I posted it on the forums. Hey, I mean, if anybody wants to use it, here's the installer which does exactly what the getting started guide says. Raspberry Pi themselves, they got in touch. So Gordon got in touch with me and said, hey, why don't we make it official? So I said, sure, yeah. It is almost official anyway. So it was basically a matter of branding and fixing some things up, making the experience smoother, and things like that. And yeah, with their direction and everything, and then it became the official Raspberry Pi Pico installer for the SDK on Windows.
Thank you
Excellent.
very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I hope you'll come back and show us your incredibly power friendly displays and how you can run these things off of button batteries. That would be fabulous.
Sure, I would be happy to, and thank you very much for having me over. It was great speaking to you.
If you like this video and it helps your learning or projects, why not drop me a cash tip using the super thanks button below the video. Remember, I'm saving these up to get myself to open source in San Francisco next year, and I'd appreciate your help in getting me there, and I hope to see you there too. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, and I hope you do, then please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video. Goodbye for now.